care. It could be QC, or even maybe it's me. It could be there for a while. Shopping in Beverly. What's on your mind? I'm not Jimmie. Why? I ain't trying to spend no time on mine. Pay that cost to be a boss. I put up on like here come. I know what I gain. In this handsome and wealthy. It feels, I don't know how you feel. Can you?
Happy Generational Wealth Wednesday. It's your guy Jimmie from my advisor, Jimmie Howard, coming to you live once again. Well, not necessarily live. If you're seeing this, chances are it was probably already recorded. Today, though, we are going to do something that's very important. I'm going to have a really important discussion, of course, amid all the things that are going on in the world today with coronavirus. A lot of you guys have been affected. Your economics have been impacted. There are a lot of changes that have been made in policy, and we're going to have a conversation about it because I feel like it's information that you guys need to be up to date with because we don't know how long things will go. But at the end of the day, we have to stay informed because competence breeds confidence. I want to begin with something. Is the things that you don't have are a reflection of the things you don't know. T.I. And the reason I use this quote is because I see a lot of fallout about what happened with the payroll protection plans, running out of money, and a lot of businesses, didn't get their money and things like that. But I want to make sure that we're not trying to become emotionally charged about everything, making sure that we are not only equipped with the information that we need to go out and qualify for these grants, but also to make sure that we're, sharing information and resources with others. So again, as you guys know, the times that we're going through is relatively new times. So I just want to let you guys know I am no shape, form, or fashion the expert when it comes to these matters, but I felt like it was my obligation, my duty to try to dissect the information and deliver to you guys. So before we begin, I also want to put out this disclaimer. This information is for entertainment purposes only. And also, this does not establish a client-advisor relationship. Again, this is just for entertainment purposes only. So a lot of these phrases, acronyms you probably have seen, you probably had no interest in even trying to figure out what they stood for. So I just want to, do my part and try to explain. So we have FPUC. FPUC stands for Federal Pandemic Unemployment Compensation. Now, what is that? Potentially $600 a week if you qualify, and it's up to 4 months, and it's in addition to your state unemployment benefits. If you live in the state of Georgia, you'll know that or you may not know, the earnings exemption increased from $55 to $300 a week without reducing your federal payment amount. The employer-filed claims can include full-time and part-time workers as long as they're reporting the wages of their employees accurately. Returning to work does not automatically eliminate your state unemployment eligibility. That's definitely important to know. So you guys are allowed to work reduced hours and still qualify for your benefits. So that's huge because, of course, there was a lot of misinformation being sent out around this topic. So you guys can return to work at reduced hours and still qualify for your unemployment benefits. CARES Act. CARES Act stands for Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act. Allows an individual to access their retirement accounts, 401ks and whatever other 403bs or whatever other retirement account you may have. You can access those funds up to $100,000 without incurring the 10% penalty fee. So that's waived. Normally, you will have an early withdrawal penalty if you withdraw funds prior to the age of 59 and a half. But of course, again, amid what's going on, they're going to waive that 10% penalty fee if you decide to exercise that option. Important to know, you still owe income taxes on your withdrawal, but you have 3 years to pay those taxes. And also worth noting, any outstanding 401k loan payments that it come due between March 27th and December 31st, 2020, they can be suspended up to a year as well. So if you guys currently have, loans outstanding from loans that you've already taken out of your 401k accounts and stuff, those payments can be suspended up to a year. And again, there are no age restrictions because again, under normal circumstances, you had to be at least 59 and a half to access penalty fee, or of course there's other, exceptions to the rule, but the main one is the 59 and a half rule. So the CARES Act pretty much gave you guys no age restriction. EIDL, which stands for the Economic Injury Disaster Loan. Now, if you're anything like me, when I saw this, I laughed because I said to myself, I didn't know economic injury was a thing. And if it is a thing, I've been economically injured for a good portion of my life. So, Economic Injury Disaster Loan is essentially a grant for $1,000 per employee, up to 10 employees. It's done on a first come, first served basis. And they're going to allow you guys to apply up until June 30th. Now, this is going to include sole proprietors, independent contractors, Uber drivers, 1099 employees. The important thing to note about this, though, is that it's done on a first come, first served basis. And right now, you guys need to be, if you feel like you qualify, you need to be applying for this aid. Because although it says up to June 30th, I doubt funds will be available to June 30th. So right now is the time that you need to be applying if you feel as though you qualify. Last but not least, I want to talk about the Payroll Protection Program, which is up to $10 million if you qualify. And essentially what it is that the Small Business Administration will forgive loans if all employees are kept on the payroll for 8 weeks and the money is used for things like payroll, rent, utilities, and interest payments or utilities. And essentially to kind of give yourself an idea of how much you will qualify for is normally 2.5 times your payroll. And it's going to be given at a 1% interest, which is a fixed rate. So don't worry about any adjustable rates or anything like that. It's a fixed rate for the life of the loan. And again, guys, this is just a highlight of the things that I felt like I wanted to bring to your attention. By no means is this the end all be all. Of course, do your own additional due diligence, research to find out what you may and may not qualify for. However, I will leave you with this. Some of you business owners, if you've already applied and you haven't heard back from your banker, now is the time, to reach out just to see where you are and standing, considering your payroll protection eligibility, as well as the economic injury disaster loan, if you apply for that as well. From what I've been told, a lot of guys are having success going with their regional banks, not throwing any major banks under the bus. Because the thing that's also worth noting is that small business is considered any business that has 500 or less employees per location. So I know in our minds, we think small business owner, we think about the soul food restaurant up the street or, things like that. But up to 500 employees or less per location is considered small business. So, guys, keep that in mind. So get on it and know that, in order to determine your eligibility and then apply, you have to deal with your regional, you have to deal with banks. So talk to your bankers. If you've already applied and you've already been approved, there's no need to reapply. You can follow up with your banker just to see what's what, but they've already received your, everything that they needed from you guys. So there's no need to reapply. But again, if you've applied and you haven't been told whether or not you've been approved or not, now is the time to follow up. Because again, guys, once again, these funds will not be available come June 30th. So go ahead and do everything that you need to do now to keep your business afloat, and let's make it happen. Remember, money doesn't solve everything, but money does solve money problems. Peace.